We are starting with XML processing APIs. So, it is very essential for us to learn XML and how to process this XML data. Okay, so, XML has become, it is actually widely accepted, uh, all over the world in the software engineering for exchange of data. XML is used in different ways, many different ways I can say. Okay, XML is used in many different ways, and there is a significant research and significant progress has been made in XML processing APIs, and you will find that almost most of the programming languages they support XML because it is very user friendly. It is not at all platform dependent, okay, or language dependent. So processing data, XML data, is not at all that difficult. Okay. Yes. Um, Here in web services also XML plays a key role, and generally we use XML in for data transfer and all. But so far we have used XML in a different way. So how did we use XML so far? Yes, you will find that we have used it in configurations. Basically, we call it as metadata information. This one is metadata. Yes. It is used in as metadata for configuring. You see, we have configured servlets. We have used it in Hibernate. We have used it in Spring also for the configurations. We have used it. But XML is just not used only for the configurations, but it has got other applications also. As I said, we can use it to represent the data, to transfer the data. Okay. Yes. So now, there is a good source to learn XML. In general, first of all, I'll talk about XML, and then we'll see how to use the Java APIs to process this XML data. First and foremost thing, I'll talk about XML in general. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Okay. So what is XML? Yes, XML. If you have any confusion regarding the full form of XML, actually XML is nothing but XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. People try to relate it with HTML. The reason why it is related to HTML is because, in XML also, you'll find tags, okay, which are similar to HTML tags. So they are actually, each tag is wrapped in Angular brackets. Every tag will have end and start tags, and end tags will be there. Okay, there will be end and start tags. And but there is one difference here. You'll find that in XML also there are tags, similar to HTML. That's the reason why we call it as a markup language. But the similarity ends there. Here in XML, the tags are user defined. They are not predefined. Whereas in HTML, you'll find that the tags are predefined. Okay. XML tags are user defined, whereas HTML tags are predefined. Okay, there is one difference. There is one more difference between XML and HTML. What is it? Yes. What is the difference between HTML and XML? First of all, one difference I have mentioned it. What is the other difference? No structure. Okay, for XML there is no standard structure. That is what you mean to say, right? We can define our own structure. HTML has a standard structure, that is one. Okay, fine. That is also right. I do agree. And what else? Any other differences? XML carry data. Okay. Unlike HTML. HTML, what it does with the data? HTML, what it does? Actually, yes. XML, it is used to carry the data. That's right. XML represents the data. It represents the data. It carries the data. Whereas HTML, why it is used? HTML is used for presenting the data. Okay. It presents the data. Yes, presentation. HTML deals with presentation. Whereas XML, it deals with representing the data here. Yes. So that is another difference between XML and HTML. Okay. Yes. So you will find that in XML, we can define our own tags. In XML, we can define our own tags. Yes. Whereas in HTML, it is not possible. Okay. Yes. Now, here, let me explain you what. Let me explain you people what do I mean by representing the data here. Okay. I said XML basically it represents the data, right? So what do I mean by representing the data? Let's see. I'll give you an example for this. Just a second. Yeah. So here I got some XML data here. I'll copy this. Here it is. You know, here this XML data which you're looking at here, it represents a node. Yes. So basically, if you read this XML, you will understand that this node is actually for his node is for a person called a Stow, and it is from Johnny, and the note is to reminder. It's a reminder basically. The note is about a reminder to meet in the weekend. Yes, that is a note. Okay. Here you will find that we are able to understand the note because the data which is here in this note, we are able to understand it because we got XML elements here which are mapping this data. XML elements are representing this data. That's the reason why it was easy for us to understand this note, I can say. Okay, it was easy for us to understand the note because XML elements are wrapping this data. Okay. Yes. Here, you know what? If I remove this elements, XML elements, just think that there are no XML elements here. Oh, you know, here, now, actually, is it that easy to understand this data? Can we now, if someone reads this data, will they be able to understand what exactly is this data about? Is it easy? Will it be easy for the people to understand what it is all about? I don't think so, right? No, it is not possible. It won't be that easy for the people to understand this code. Because here, actually, okay, there are two names. There are two names here. You see, you got two names. Actually, probably we can understand the data a little bit, but not completely, right? Okay, so actually, who's actually writing the note to whom? Okay, that this note is for whom? Who's writing this note? And this is for whom? It is difficult to understand now, right? So, if we add the XML elements, then it is easy for us to understand this note. Then it is easy for us to understand this note. If we add XML elements, then I can say that it is easy for us to understand this note. Alright? Yes. Fine. So that means what role the XML is doing here, playing here, it is actually representing the data. That is what I mean to say. It is representing the data here. Okay, that is what I was saying. Okay, hope you people got it. So is it clear for you people? Any doubts or issues in this regard? So here now actually the XML, the most important usage of XML is transfer of data. I'm sorry. The most important usage of XML is to transfer the data here. Yes. Okay. Most important usage of XML is to transfer the data. Yes. So now let's say you got two applications. Which wants to exchange the data in the form of XML, they will do that. Okay, yes. Let's say there is a Java, there is application A, and there is one more application B. So in this case, you see here, let's say XML application A wants to send that XML message to application B. So generally, why applications will use XML to transfer the data or exchange the data? What do you people think? Why XML is needed here to transfer the data? Because here, yes, assume that this application A is Java application and application B is a .NET application. That means they don't have a common standard to represent the data. Am I right? There is no common standard to represent the data here, because these are two different applications. So now they need a common data representation here for exchange of data. They can only exchange the data if there is any common representation between them. Yes. So here comes the XML, okay, which they can use as a standard format for exchange of data. Yes. Okay. So now application A will send XML data here to application B. So it will be in the form of XML. Okay. They will exchange the data in the form of XML. Okay. Yes. Now, you know what? Here, when there is an exchange of data between these two applications, there can be one issue. What is it? You will find that here the data which is sent by application A, let's say this is the data which is sent by application A. But there can be one issue while exchange of data. What is it? I'll tell you. A heterogeneous, there won't be any problem if they are different, right? Because the data is XML data, right? Any application can understand it. Each application will have their own APIs to process XML data. So this is not a problem, okay? So to avoid that address this standard data representation issue itself, we are using XML, because in Java the way we represent data is different from the way the data is represented in .NET, right? Because two different languages, they have their own different standards to represent the data. Okay, yes. Now here, what is the issue then? You know what? Here, I can say that actually let's say the data when it is in transit, when the data was transferred from A to B, you know what? Let's say one of the element is missing. The data was truncated. Due to some network issue, network problems, the data was actually truncated, let's say. So if this is the case, then how application B will be able to understand that there is data loss here, there was data truncation? How application B can understand that there is a data loss, a data truncation here? So why we have this issue? Because XML data is not standard. It is not standardized, right? So the elements in XML are all user defined. They're not predefined. That is the problem. Am I right? Yes. XST, that's right. I'll come to that point, okay? Yes. So, you know what? Here, you will find that because the elements, all the XML elements are not standard elements, you will find the issue here. Okay, because they're not standard elements, you will find the issue here. Okay, yes. Just a second. Okay. So you see here, the elements are not standard elements, so there will be a difficulty for the applications to, understand whether there is any data loss. Here, to address this issue, DTDs were introduced. DTDs. First, DTDs came into existence. DTD. What is DTD? Document type definitions. Document type definitions were introduced. So, so this DTD here, what is it? This DTD is used to define the structure of the XML document. DTDs are used to define the structure of XML document. So what happens if the structure of XML document is defined? If the structure of the XML document is defined, and here, that means this DTD will contain the details about the legal elements which we can have in an XML document. What are the legal elements? What elements are supposed to be present, or what elements are legal inside the class? You'll find that here the details are defined in the DTD, document type definition. They are defined in the DTD. So how a DTD looks like, let's see. You will find that here the DTD for this XML document is this. I'll copy this, don't worry, I'll show you. The DTD for this XML document is this. Yeah. Here you'll find that in the DTD, the structure of the XML document is defined. That means a skeleton or template of the DTD is defined. You'll find that here in the DTD, all the legal elements which should be present in the XML document is defined. You see here it says doc type is note, and here you see the doc type note means this is the root element. It indicates that note is a root element. You see what elements we can have in this XML document. You see these elements are used for that purpose. Note is to, from, heading, body. Actually you should have an element called as note here, and that note element again will have sub elements like to, from, head and body. Inside that note element, again, what are the legal elements? To, from, heading and body. And again, you see the details about that sub elements are provided here. Yes. You will find that here it says to element is PC data. 2 means PC data. It indicates that here in the 2 element, will have we can have add data. Okay. Yes, in the PC element, what should be there? You should have some data, and from also will have some data, text content. Head also will have some text content. Okay. Yes. And here body also will contain some text content. So these are the elements, legal elements, whose details are provided in this XML document. Okay. Yes. So hope this is clear for you people. Yes. Now you see this XML, sorry, DTD document definition will be used by the applications. Both the applications will have this DTD. Okay, both the applications will have a copy of this DTD, and what they will use this document type definition to validate the data, to check whether the data is valid or not, to check whether the data is valid or not. Okay, so they will use this DTD. You see, for example, now application B, as soon as it receives the data, what it does here, it will check whether this data is, it will check whether all the elements which are supposed to be here in this XML document are present or not. How it will know what elements are actually legal here? You see, it will take the help of this DTD, right? You see, in the DTD it is clearly mentioned what are the sub elements of note. It should be to, from, heading and body, but to, from is missing. So you'll find that there will be XML parsers which are used for validating this XML data. Okay, there will be XML parsers which will be used for validating this XML data. Okay, yes, fine. So this is how it works. So hope you people got it. So any doubts or issues in this regard, please let me know. This is how DTD works. Okay. Is it clear? So DTD, it contains the structure of the, it will hold the structure of the XML document. I'll give you a few points. There will be few points here. Yes, first of all, yes, the XML document with the correct form, with the correct syntax, you see, if an XML document contains all the XML elements which are expected to be present in the XML document here, you see, if it contains all those elements, then we say that the XML is well formed. The XML contains all the elements which are supposed to, or which are expected to be in the XML document, then we call that XML document as well formed. You know, here what if the XML document uh, in the XML document there are few elements which are missing. What if there are few elements which are missing in the XML document? Then then the XML document is not considered as well formed, and that element is not valid. And how do we validate an XML document? You see, always the XML document is validated against a DTD, okay, which contains the details, right? Yes. So, here I'll give you the doc type details. You see, just a second, I'm sorry. Oh, I think we have it in a different section. Just a second. Yes, you see, it says the purpose of DTD is to define, please make a note of it, okay, if you want. Always it is better to know what are DTDs and all, okay, yes. So, you will find that the purpose of a DTD is to define the structure of an XML document, and you see it defines the structure with list of legal elements. It means what are the legal elements in an XML document, what elements should be contained in the XML document. Those details are provided by this DTD here. Those details are provided by the DTD. Yes. Okay, so hope you people got it. This is how DTD is used actually. Yes. This is how DTD is used. Yes. Fine, this is what DTD is. Okay, fine. Now you know what? Here you will find that DTDs are a little outdated as of now. And DTDs have got some limitations. Okay. Yeah, have you noticed it? Always in XML documents, you'll find this doc type element. I used to, in Struts applications especially, so if you people have noticed it, I'll show you one Struts application wherein we have used this DTDs. Just a second. Now you will have a very good understanding of XML. So you will be, clear with this. Just a second. Okay. In Struts, we have used configuration files. Strut configuration file, which is basically an XML file itself, right? So, here on top, have you noticed it? a doc type element is added. So can you people tell me what is this doc type element? Why we used to add it? What is the purpose? The doc type element here, it refers to the DTD location. Actually, you know what? I said we got the DTD, right? Where we will write this DTD document type definitions in a file whose extension will be .dtt. Okay. So the way, generally XML content, where it is stored in an XML file, the extension will be .xml file, right? And you will find that most of the times the DTD is stored in a file whose extension will be .dtt. Okay. Yes. So you know what? Here, yes, as I think Kiran, yes. Yes, that's right. The below XML content, what Kiran said is right, I do agree. It indicates that the below, XML content, it follows the document type definition, which is defined here in this XML, in this DTD file. That is the URL of the DTD. That is where the DTD is. Here, it indicates that this XML file, the below XML content, XML document here, it follows this DTD. That is what it indicates. Okay, that is what it indicates. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Here, if you want, you can try opening this document also. You can try opening this document. You can open it. South Indian stars are reuniting with things. Okay. Actually, I got this DTD now. I've downloaded it. Actually, see, I've downloaded this one. Let me open it. You see, this document contains the DTD. You see, now you can go through them. You'll find that what are all the legal elements inside this XML document. Here they are defined here. Okay, this is the DTD. So that means this XML document is supposed to follow this DTD. What if it doesn't follow? Let's say if I delete this root element here, then when you run this application, you'll find that when the XML parser parses this XML document, it will complain. You see, you got an error immediately. IDE contains parsers. It will check them. You see what it says? The markup in the document following the root element must be well formed. It says it is not well formed. Must be well formed. It indicates that this document is not well formed here. Okay. Yes. So that is the purpose of adding the DTD. Okay, if there is no DTD for the document, then it is difficult to check the well-formedness of the XML document. Okay, it is hard, but it is difficult to check the well-formedness of the XML document here. Okay, yes. So hope you people got it. Now, here, XML is one option for us. Sorry, DTD is one option, but you will find that there is one more option for us to define the structure of an XML document. In order to define the structure of the XML document, you got one more option. Yes. What is it? The other option is XSD. XML schema definitions. They are also known as XSTs. XML schema definitions. So here, XSTs are more powerful, they're more descriptive compared to DTDs. The XST is a replacement for DTD. Okay, XML schema definitions. This is the full form of XST. This is the full form of XST. XML schema definitions. Here, you'll find that XSTs are also used to define the structure of the XML document. They're also used to define the structure for the XML document. And what's the difference here? What is the difference between XST and XML document? Sorry, XST and DTD. Let's see. First of all, let me give you a few details about XST here. Okay. Let's see how an XST looks like. Yes. XML schemas. XST stands for XML schemas. You see here, in case of XSTs also, you'll find the same definition. It says an XML schema, it describes, XML schema means XST itself. XML schema, it describes the structure of XML document. It describes the structure of XML document. Okay, and basically XML is also used to check the well-formadness of XML document. It is used to validate, I can say. It is basically used to validate the XML data. It is used to validate the XML data. So what is the difference? You see, this is the XST or XML schema for that XML document. Okay. Here, you will find that even in this XST, the details about the XML document, the structure of that XML document is defined. Okay, the details about the structure of XML document is defined. Here, yeah, we'll see the difference. But you will find that first difference is XSD is also XML based. XSD also is XML based. And one advantage of XSD is that here you will find that they are more descriptive compared to XSD DTDs. For example, you see there is one additional detail regarding the XML elements here. Have you people noticed it? What is it? Yes, sequence, okay. And what else? You know, you'll find that the data type is specified here, string. It indicates that this XML elements, they can actually hold XML, the XML elements, they should hold string values. It indicates that actually they're supposed to hold a string value here. Yes, they're supposed to hold a string value. Yes. Okay. It indicates that they should hold string values. Fine. Here, string, is it Java type? Are we specifying the Java type here? What type is it basically? Is it Java type? Actually, it is XML type. It is not Java type. Okay? It is actually XML type. It is not Java type. So you will find that here you got different types in XML also. This is the first difference which you'll see. Okay? Yes. And there are many other differences also. Let's see. The other difference is it is more expressive, I said. Okay? We can actually add some restrictions on the elements. Or suppose you see, let's say there is an XML element called as age. Okay, there is an XML element called as age. In that case, you see here, I want to add some restrictions here. So what restrictions I want to add here? You see, you will find that I want the type to be integer, and here I want the minimum value to be 0 and maximum value to be 120. These are the only legal values. The range is between 0 and 120. The range is between 0 and 120. Can we do this here in DTD? Are you people familiar with it? Can we do it here in DTD? Is it possible? Actually, you can't do this. Okay. So we can add other restrictions also. Let's say I got an XML element called as car. The legal values for that XML element are Audi, Golf, or BMW. That's it. These are only 3 legal elements, let's say. Okay. So this way, you see, you can add the details. Okay. This is possible in XML schemas. It is only possible in XML schemas. Is it clear? Here, this way we got many restrictions which we can add. Okay. So I will talk about those restrictions and all, how to, use them and how to add this XSDs. We'll see that. And then tomorrow itself, we are going to use XML APIs to process this XML data. Now the data is an XML document. How to read the data from the XML document? Yes, there are many such tools actually, but I'm not going to discuss about any such tools. Okay, so you will find a lot of tools for XML. I believe there is one tool. What is it? I forgot the name. You can browse for it. There is one popular tool, but it is not open source. Okay, XML tools are there to process the data. Altova, very popular one. Another one is Oxygen XML. Altova is a very popular tool, to work with XML data. Yes, to manage the XML documents, you can use it. Okay, but as a Java developer, you should know how to process this data, creating this XML document structures and all. But okay, sometimes you may get that requirement, but it is rare. Most of the times you have to work with these documents, process these XML documents. As a developer, you'll be doing it a lot. Okay, fine. So let's see how to process this XML data and all tomorrow. Okay, yeah. So I'll stop it here today. We'll meet tomorrow.